Dave here, and today we're going to check out the work of Shinku Kim. He's a concept artist, one of my favorite artists, just because he has a style that I'm not trying to go, well, a bit. I love his work, that's the point. He does have this huge focus on mech design, and they often have that kind of, they're more like suits, they're not full mechs, I feel. Well, they're kind of like mechs. I mean, they are mechs, but they're not necessarily thick, like tank-ish, you know? They have that kind of humanoid form. And he does have like a lot of interesting designs. My favorite ones are the ones where he uses this kind of flat brush. And it does have the very... It's kind of impressionistic in a way, just because it's not super detailed, right? Although he can render things to a fine-tuned kind of level. And he does have, if you just scroll through his like ArtStation portfolio, you can see this kind of shift in style over time. Like he has phases. His recent work is more graphical in nature, and I think he likes to use his iPad for that sort of thing. He has way more contrast. He loves the blacks. Very, very high contrast types of artwork, and he can pretty much do everything from line work to this pure painting, like without the like heavy on the shapes, no line work at all, and then more rendered kind of stuff. And some of his work does have some photo bashing in it in his earlier works here. But yeah, so let's check out some of his work. Oh, he does like, this is kind of his more recent style. If you see this kind of cover photo of his. Oh, by the way, I do recommend you follow him on Instagram as well. And he actually does have a YouTube channel. He's not very consistent in his YouTube channel, but he does have enough videos for you to kind of check out and go, whoa, what the fuck, Shinku Kim? Anyway, again, look at this flat brush. A very, very direct way of painting, which I like. Oh, well, this one is actually high contrast. So in a way, he does start with some kind of silhouette, like a black silhouette, and then he'll fill in the shapes within that silhouette. Am I right? Right? And I like how he can define the shapes quickly and the forms with just that flat brush. So there's no line work at all. Sometimes he'll start with this, and then he'll do like a line work over that. Sometimes he'll do like a very rough kind of line work, and then he'll paint over it, I think. He has a multitude of approaches, which gives him this, I guess, this variety of styles, right? That kind of evolves over time. I mean, look at this. This has more of a samurai kind of look to it, right? And again, that flat brush, I think he just limits himself to that flat brush. But look at the work though. So not a lot of brush variety, but it's so pure, very raw, very direct, and I do like that kind of look. Even though it's not very... Again, it doesn't have like brush variety, not a lot of hue variety. It's the values are pretty kind of contained. The brushes are pretty simple, just that it just has that kind of flat brush, right? But it looks intense, right? Look at the directness of it. Why am I so excited? Relax, Dave, relax. You know. Anyway. Ooh, now this one, it's a bit weird, but well, it's not weird. This one reminds me of the armor in the in Asgard, Thor's kind of planet world thing, kingdom. But yeah, look at that flat brush. It's so well used, and look at the value range here, right? It looks like a complete concept, even though it's not fully. It gets tighter in the chest, in the armor, in the head, obviously, but you can still see the kind of rawness of the brush strokes, right? And yeah, very, very heavy, very sci-fi. He does have like a few odd pieces here and there, but a lot of his work is very mech heavy, very mechanical in nature, because they're obviously mechs. No shit. Nice dog. Very interesting concepts for the leg connecting things here. You're so smart. Oh shit. Look at that, right? Same brush, but it's kind of enough. The design is enough, or it shows the design well enough. It doesn't have to be fully rendered, right? Which is my favorite thing to see. Very, very, oh my god, look at the rawness of this bad boy, right? It gets simpler as you go further down, makes sense. It just has enough kind of shapes in it to kind of suggest the design, but most of the rendering, it's not a highly rendered thing, but there are more values. The shapes are clearer, more defined, usually in the head and in the chest, right? But look at how the brush strokes kind of overlap and they're not that clean. It has that appeal, right? Damn, I mean, look at the way it has this kind of almost like a human-like musculature thing, right? Like it's natural, like it's a bunch of carbon fiber types of parts, along with more armored sections, right? Damn, like look at the rawness of it, right? Amazing. And what's so cool is that you can actually just skip the line work, because sometimes the typical kind of way of doing things is to do like a rough pencil sketch and then like a more refined, slightly refined ink sketch, and then you do the coloring, and then maybe you'll do like a paint over the line work. So it's kind of too much for me, and I'm guessing it's too much for you. That's a lot of work, and we want to save time. So going for just a direct painting approach is going to be interesting for a lot of us that are interested in coming up with quick concepts or paintings or designs, right? So in a way, he's kind of like Anthony Jones. Anthony Jones doesn't like to he doesn't do a lot of line work types of artwork, just direct painting, which I find fascinating. And like within 1 hour, he'll be able to come up with, or he can come up with some very intriguing creature designs, right? Now this one has a bit of line work in it, very rough, not super rough, but yeah. But again, I'm more interested in this kind of style, right? And look at how he simplified the other arm, right? Because it's basically the same. It's a symmetrical kind of design, but you don't have to render every part or kind of define every part. Because if it's symmetrical, you can just leave that part that's kind of closer to the background, kind of grayish, almost just like a silhouette. So helps to save time. Now this one does have like a basic kind of line work. You can see the sci-fi designs here. It's kind of like an astronaut suit design. Oh, this one, the head design it's kind of Gundam-like in nature. But again, look at the way he uses that flat brush. I'm not sure if it's set in initial direction or in kind of like a pen stylus tilt thing or pen tilt kind of fashion, but you can tell it's very efficient. Look at the way he did the gun in the other arm. Holy fucking Christ, right? Super efficient. And look at the way he did. I'm guessing these are rocket launchers of some kind. Those legs look thick as hell. And look at how mechy it looks. Mechy, right? There's hardly any detail, but the shapes within that silhouette, it makes it. He just knows where to put those specific kind of forms to make it look like an actual kind of mech, which I find awesome, right? And he's been doing mechs since forever, I guess. So, like that's his main focus. So he just has the sixth sense for mech designs, right? Ooh, more of that kind of design. Look at how he left the other part of like the arm and the kind of gun in the background just as a silhouette. More definition in the front, a bit more refinement and value range in the chest and in the head, right? Whoa, Christ, look at how he used that flat brush to kind of define this kind of what it's called. It's like it's where you put the bullets and shit. It kind of runs through that kind of cable, not cable, but this kind of thing. And then pew 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 pew. Look at the flat. He's using a simple fucking flat brush, like a king. Shinku Kim is Shinku King. Bro, you're so cringe. You're dumb. You're retarded, bro. You're a retard. Well, not Shinku Kim, but me. Oh, this one's a bit. Oh, you can tell there's a bit more photo bashing here, right? But again, it has a sci-fi kind of element. It does have. Obviously, it's sci-fi because it's a mech. Jesus. Kind of reminds me of the suit in The Edge of Tomorrow. The one with Tom Cruise in it, right? Pew 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 pew. Oh, so 2 different designs, same character but 2 different, I guess, costume designs. Now I'm guessing these are ammo packets here, or maybe C4. But again, he's using the same freaking flat brush. It gets more painterly in this one, so that's pretty cool. This one feels more like a painting, that like the head, like there's more way more value range. Like it looks like an actual it's less this and more like an actual painting, right? Like there's more time invested in like the head. I'm guessing these are like this is probably like a photo bashed thing, I'm guessing, and then he did a paint over. I mean, that's just my guess, but look at the it gets simpler again in the bottom, right? More detail at the top. So again, you don't have to render, or not it doesn't have to be like equalized in terms of painting time. You can spend more time in that special 10 to 20% of a concept or painting, and that's usually enough to kind of carry the whole frame. Ooh, damn, thigh gap much? Jesus Christ. Oof, nice shoulders. I mean, God, pointy toes or shoes. God, now this was pretty thick, pretty badass, and again, that flat brush is there. This one does have heels, right? Very, very fashionable. Nice crotch, so bulky. It has that kind of Gundam kind of influence, I'm guessing. I love the design of the chest. It feels like some kind of motor from some kind of car. I have no idea how cars work. But again, look at the silhouette in this hand and in this gun. It's just a bunch. It's very simple. Most of the design happens in this part, right? Even the hand is kind of kept simple. Not a lot of design in it. Just the silhouette and some indication of some kind of thumb here, right? But look at how well designed this part is. Even this front part of the leg, he didn't even have to render this part because obviously it's kind of symmetrical again. So, but fuck me, right? Very, very nice shape design. I think that's the word, shape design, or term, shape design. I love the head design. It's kind of like Anubis, like the dog god thingy in Egypt. And again, that flat brush. And it has some kind of sword. Anyway. Ooh, damn! Look at the beautiful design. It gets simpler with this kind of gun part. Fuck. Oh. Here in the back, and then most of the rendering, a bit more definition in the chest. I mean, look at how well formed this chest design is. The armor here, the chest plates, the shoulder thingies there, and the head design is actually kept simple. But look at how the forms kind of repeat. It's kind of circular, biological, organic, and it kind of has the same motifs. These sorts of circular, energy types of pods, I guess, of some kind. Some kind of rotary thing for the legs. Again, it's design-wise, he's awesome. And there's always that consistency. Even though the designs are kind of different for each piece, there is that consistency within the design. There's a repetition of patterns. That's kind of redundant. There's a repetition of certain shapes, certain design motifs. Oh, now this one is kind of fantasy, just because it's hard to see the insides of this guy. But you can tell by the leg design, it's kind of a sci-fi thing. It's more pointy. It feels like fantasy just because of the pointiness of it. It has that Mordor kind of design. Very, very evil looking in a way. Or tough looking. Mean. Aggressive. Be aggressive. More contrast, more design, obviously more definition in the face. Everything else kind of kept simple, and again, flat brush. A simple flat brush. Ooh, come on. Two designs here. From the same world, even though they're two different characters, you can see the repetition of it in terms of color. It's there. The shape design is kind of there as well. Like it's kind of consistent, even though they're kind of different. There is that kind of, like they belong in the same realm, right? Flat brush. Come on, okay. Now this one is, I think it's sci-fi just because of the gun, but look at he had to go further into detail for this one just because of the The armor design is a bit more biological, more kind of crab-like, right? More pointy stuff. So he had to kind of go in there and kind of define things a bit more because for a lot of his mech designs, they're very bulky. So the flat brush helps to establish those big kind of planes. But for this one, it's a bit more organic. So he had to go in and kind of define the points more and kind of sculpt it a bit more, right? But Jesus Christ. Fuck. I mean, look at that. And look at how these sorts of designs, they have this kind of, like it's really more about the armor. Like you can see the kind of black, the dark value beneath everything, and then everything else is kind of on top of that. So I'm not sure what the point was of that statement, but yeah, science, facts. Anyway. Oh, this one's kind of like an astronaut person. Well, not astronaut. Damn, what happened to his arms? I'm not sure how he would be able to control the arms here, but maybe he's just like a head. The head is photo bashed in, I can tell. That's because that's too good looking of a person to be painted. But I love the perspective shot. It's kind of, you're seeing it from kind of above, slightly above, right? And again, the repetition of forms, the design motifs, this kind of red thing. Look at how it kind of cuts in the corners. It does the same thing here. There is the consistency in his work. Very, very good design skills here. And it kind of helps his painting, or it kind of goes well with his painting approach, which is usually simple. Now this one, it's a bit more solid, not a lot of flat brush use. I'm guessing he did use maybe, I'm guessing the cutout filter in Photoshop, right? I'm guessing, but this one's more solid, more opaque, not a lot of texture. Well, his work in general doesn't have a lot of texture, but he did use more of a solid brush for the most part, right? You can't see the kind of flat brushness of it, maybe in some parts, but fuck, right? Same thing here. I'm guessing he got a photo and then he applied a few filters and then he kind of painted over it. It's a great kind of use of Photoshop's filters, right? Great way to save time. This one's more of a bug design, insect design, right? You can see some spikes in the shoulders and the tricep in the back of the neck, the backbone, some wings, and nice antennas here. Very, very solid, not a lot of texture, very, very graphical, right? So it doesn't really matter which style or what style he does have, because he has the kind of solid understanding of like sci-fi mech designs, right? This one is more of a helmet design, I would say. Reminds me a bit of that chick in the Transformers film, not Megan Fox, the one that had like a very, very long tongue, right? Because the design of this thing feels very kind of evil, Decepticon-ish. So, yeah. Beautiful. Natural colors for this one. Oh, look at the... Oh, it's beautiful. And I love how some guys, they don't even draw or design the feet as like a foot. It's sort of like the mech knows how to balance itself with a very small kind of footprint. So that's kind of a cool design thing there. And look at the proportions here. Very, very small head, big shoulders, nice looking legs, right? This is kind of my future body type, or my body goals. Very, very strong legs, big ass shoulders, nice looking chest. My forearms, my arms in general are not even that big. And I have some like ridiculously small hands. They're not that small, but you know. Anyway. Ooh! Awesome. This one is one of my favorites. Just because you can see a bit of that. The person, the actual palette, and you can see his arms, but you can also see the bigger arms and the kind of cannon near the shoulder, right? Fuck me. Look at how bulky it is. Again, the design is there. The design motifs repeat. Oh my god, repeat. The helmet design does feel very Pacific Rim-ish, right? The Jaeger designs, I can see it a bit here. Reminds me a bit of John Wallenberto, one of my favorite artists as well, right? I mean, right? But again, for this one, flat brush, amazing. Oh, one of my favorites as well. Now he did use a blur filter for I'm guessing the smoke. Maybe this guy just kind of got done firing some shit. Very, very big ass, I'm guessing cannons of some kind, or maybe Gatling guns, miniguns, right? Looks mean as hell. Look at the leg design. Again, if you kind of just zoom in and just focus on one part, it's not even like super like drawn out. And I've noticed that in a lot of like mech designs, especially when it comes to 2D artists, they don't focus so much on the details. They just know which parts to kind of show in terms of light, and then that's pretty much it. Like your mind just fills in the details. And a lot of like mech types of artwork have this kind of black silhouette in the background or as a base, and then everything else kind of just fills in that like goes on top of it, right? Like you don't even have to think about the things here in between, like the interior stuff. You just have to think of the armor essentially. So that's like a big part of mech design, just the armor, how it looks outside, because you're not actually designing like, like an actual mech here, right? Oh, look at that complementary thing. Green, purple, or green violet, right? Ooh. Amazing. Now this one is more of it's a bigger mech and a bit of photo bashing in the beginning. And then a simple brushes. The flat brush is pretty much still there being used, but I think this guy is underwater, maybe under maintenance. It's a big mech. You can see the person here for scale. Maybe it's kind of Pacific Rim inspired. Yeah, very, very solid. Not a lot of texture. The photo bashing does provide most of the texture, but the actual painting, not a lot. Very, very solid looking lines. But again, the flat brush is his favorite kind of thing. Anyway, now this one's more of a Gundam design, right? Photo bashing for the background, but the actual mech painted for the most part, right? Am I right? I'm right. Oof. I love the head design here. Reminds me of it's the Ava Zero, the original, the Unit 1 or the Unit 0 Ava in the Evangelion series. Just because of the head design here. This one has, I'm guessing, jetpacks in its shoulders, so that's very interesting. But again, look at the creativeness, the creativity when it comes to the mechanical parts, right? Looks so bulky. The planes are very. It's there. It's enough to kind of suggest the design, and I think that this could be enough for some kind of 3D modeler to kind of, like make something out of this, right? But then again, Shinku Kim has been doing this forever, since the beginning of time and space. So design-wise, he's just again, if this one has the same kind of look to this guy, where you can actually see the arms of the pilot, right? Ooh. Again, the design motifs. It's kind of a greenish, gray-green kind of color scheme. Flat brush is still used as the main brush. The forms kind of repeat, right? The planes, the armor. There's a consistency in the armor design, right? Fuck me. I mean, look at that. Again, it's almost always like this area that kind of carries most of the painting, right? Look at how this part of the leg is not that defined, but he defined this one just because you can see more of the side view of this leg compared to this one, right? You don't have, even for this arm, a bit more definition. It's still rough, but a bit more definition here. And this one is just vague as fuck. It's not super vague, but it's because, again, it's symmetrical. You can kind of transfer the designs here over to the other arm. Makes sense. Saves time. Looks good. Ooh. The head design reminds me of Ultron in the Avengers film. Love the legs. Very, very smooth. Very curvy. Again, silhouette gun. Silhouette jetpacks or wings in the back. Small footprint. Small feet. Yellow as the accent color with a bit of red. Almost looks like some kind of motorbike that can transform into like some kind of transformer. Oh, this one does have like a bigger kind of head design. Reminds me of the mech in what's the film? Sucker Punch. the one piloted by the Asian chick, right? Oof. Mean as hell. Oh, look at how the leg is kind of, the feet is kind of different. It has a larger footprint. Thick as hell. It's mostly white-gray with a bit of green and yellow as the accent colors, right? Look at the flat brush being used again, right? More definition in the crotch, the chest, and in the legs as well, right? You have to be creative with the armor for the mech designs. And you have to add forms within forms or shapes within shapes to generate this kind of, it looks complex, but if you just zoom in on certain areas, it looks kind of simple. But if you zoom out and see everything together, it looks like some kind of complicated thing. But yeah, amazing. I'm guessing a more solid brushwork here, not a lot of flat brush use. I'm guessing he did use like the cutout filter in Photoshop to kind of bash a few photos together, and then he did like a paint over. And I'm guessing this is like a 7-Eleven thing, just because of the color scheme, orange and green, right? Reminds me a bit of Nivan Shantara's work, right? Oh, some different designs, armor designs, some kind of police unit, right? So this is kind of like the main model, and then depending on this could be like for the cops. They have like an extra kind of armor design for the cops, and then maybe this could be for some kind of private company, security kind of thing, right? Oh, here you can actually see the line work. It's a bit rough, but he just knows where to put in the colors and put in the shapes, and it kind of looks well together. Look at the amount of design in the chest again and in the head. Well, in general, but again, there's such a consistent kind of look throughout his work. Right? And the legs have that kind of action figure kind of sockets, right? And even in the arms, shoulders, like they help with the rotation of the limbs. Very, very interesting. Some hydraulic suggestions in this part. Whoa, awesome. One of my favorites as well is because it looks aggressive, looks mean, looks like some kind of bug, like a beetle, right? The forms, the design motifs, very, very consistent. Analogous, it's green and yellow, right? Has a claw-like arm in the other side, kind of like the way the Jaeger in the first Pacific Rim film, it had one of the Jaegers had this kind of plasma gun, and it had this kind of arm, I guess, or hand. Sorry. Anyway, awesome design. Look at that chest design again. Very, very creative. Look at the sharpness here of this kind of belt. It's kind of repeated in the face or head design as well, right? And even in this kind of ring. I mean, fuck. Christ. It's so impressive just seeing his work. Now this one, I think he does, again, here you can actually see like a YouTube video of his. I will link all of the links in the description below, so no worries. And yeah, he does use a bit of halftones here for some texture, but most of this is just kind of flat. Not a lot of texture except for the halftone texture. Very, very flat again. Multiple light sources. There's the general light source, and then there's the maybe from some kind of fire, I'm guessing, and then some kind of cool lighting from the other side, right? Wow, he was able to pull it off. There's a design, right? You can see the packs here, the helmet design a bit, but he was able to balance that with some lighting, with some different like light sources, right? Awesome. Oh, I love the feet here, right? Very, very small footprint. And again, the repetition of shapes. Very, very pointy wings here in the back. Pointy gun. Pointy kind of horns in the helmet design. Even the back of the helmet and the chin. Very, very sharp looking. I don't see the flat brush being used. It's very, very graphical. Could have been done with, I'm guessing, Procreate in the iPad. Come on. Ooh, same thing here. And again, you can see that kind of style change. But it doesn't matter what style he has or what kind of approach he has. He does, just because of the amount of work, the mileage he has with mech designs, he just knows how to do them in whatever fashion he chooses to do them in, right? Like the design shows up anyway. Amazing. Now these ones are more character designs, very anime-ish proportions. Halftone textures, I'm guessing again done in the Procreate app. Very flat looking in terms of like the rendering style. Not a lot of texture except for that flat that halftone texture, right? He did use the flat brush again. Amazing, right? So this guy is part of some kind of maybe a ship, or maybe it's kind of like a big seat of some kind. So I'm not sure if this one came first, the one done with the flat brush, or the one done with the inks. I'm guessing this was done first because it's faster, and then this one has a bit more definition in it, right? But then again, who knows? Either way works for him, I'm guessing. Awesome design, more highly contrasted. You can see more of the darks here. Nice dog design. Reminds me of the Boston Dynamics, which is kind of a scary company if you know anything about transhumanism and shit like that. Fuck, it's very scary, but I love this head design here. The eyes, they're like cameras and shit. Very pointy, almost insect-like. It's obviously some kind of mech. But look at that flat brush. Wow, he loves his flat brush. I'm guessing it's in the initial direction mode. Just a guess, but could be penciled. Awesome design. Some camo suggestion here of in the sleeves or in the fabric, right? This one has the same look as where is it? As the this kind of design where you can see like the actual human pilot person. Oh shit! It's the same. It's the same thing as the green one. Where is it? Right? The head design is kind of different though. He made some changes, right? Oh, wow! I have good eyes. Go to Bash. This dog design is amazing, right? Oh, even like the drone here is like the modern drones that we have, except for the legs. Imagine if our modern drones had like legs. Fuck. Everything would be kind of tracked and, dystopian. Anyway, let's oh, now this one has more of a fantasy kind of look. Am I right? Very Egyptian-ish. Feels like it anyway, but I don't see like a lot of sci-fi stuff, but it's more about like the armor, so his approach works anyway. I love the kind of cape here. They feel like wings. These designs could be based off of some kind of bird, I'm guessing. Beautiful. Some more sci-fi concepts, character designs. Oh, awesome head design here. Could be some kind of mech. I don't see like a human being. So this could be, maybe it could be like for a pilot. Or maybe it's some kind of suit. Oh no, this guy is like, whoa. Right? Awesome sci-fi designs. And again, even when he does his photo bashing work, he does know how to paint over it anyway, so he's not like afraid to design over things. Like he's not dependent on the photos, Pretty cool. Awesome sketch here, very comic-like, graphic in nature, right? Same thing for this one. Oh, he did add kind of outline, kind of like input woe. My input woe does the same thing for his female figures, for his female characters. He does like to add this kind of what's the word? Art Nouveau kind of approach where you kind of bolden out the lines. in the edges with a thicker line. But in this case, there's a bit of color in it. Kind of like in my input wall, he'll also add color in that kind of outline. That kind of major outline, right? Art Nouveau. Sci-fi, soldier, some kind of guard perhaps. Again, repetition of forms. Design motifs, the forms are there, the colors, the accent green, the accent green, the accent green, the accent green. I'm not sure which came first, this one or this one, right? I'm guessing he did use, I'm guessing for this sort of fabric thing, he could have used, I'm guessing, a cutout filter in Photoshop, and then he painted over it. It's a very, very cool approach, but that's just my guess. It could work. I'm guessing it would work. And it's a great way to kind of break down photos. If you don't want too much texture, you could use the cutout filter to utilize the photo without having that kind of strong texture from the photo, from the original photo. Anyway, that's it for my not my Shinku Kim, or my Shinku Kim. That's it for this video, or this art review of Shinku Kim's work. I do recommend you follow him on Instagram. Check him out on his YouTube channel. Subscribe. He has a couple of videos, enough for you to be amazed. And yeah, keep drawing, keep painting, and stay free.